So I just got done reading this old classic with my girls. This is a Berenstain Bears book specifically about the bully. And it just blows my mind how much these classic books really like towed the line. Like they really push the boundaries. I feel like today's authors, because everybody's so sensitive and they're worried about like being politically correct and everything, like they would never write the way that these old classics wrote. And essentially what happens is the little sister comes home and she's all beat up and bruised. They eventually realize that she got beat up by a bully on the playground. But like the wording that they use, like like this no good, nasty, rotten bully beat me up for no reason. And then it explains like the actual fight itself, which is pretty graphic. Like it's like pow, bam, whammo, I was flat on my back with this Tuffy character sitting on my chest, rubbing dirt in my face. And then the parents get really, really upset, like specifically the dad. And the dad is like ready to go out to the playground. He's like, where's my hat? I'm going over to that playground. And then the mom tries to bring him back down to earth. And then the brother wants to go defend his sister. So he shows up to the playground and look what he says. I've got a knuckle sandwich for some bully named Tuffy. Like I feel like authors nowadays, they would never ever like allow their stories to get this far when it comes to kids. Then the brother realizes that Tuffy is actually a girl, and and this is kind of cute because he realizes, oh, well, I can't beat up a girl. And it does talk about how like I would never hit a girl, that kind of thing. So I love that they put that in there, because I want my girls to know, like, you know, hitting is never appropriate, but especially a boy putting his hands on a girl. And then get this, so the solution to the problem, like sister's all worried about going to school the next day and she doesn't know like, you know, how she's going to handle the bully or whatever. And so the mom is telling her, you just need to avoid the bully. And I feel like nowadays that is exactly what authors want to teach kids in their books. Like the way that you handle this is to avoid the bully. But what happens is the brother actually brings her down to the cellar. This is a big bag of dried beans. And he has this book of self-defense that he's using. And he actually starts teaching her self-defense so that when she goes onto the playground tomorrow, she can defend herself. And look, they even name it like the left jab, the right cross, like all the actual correct terminology for boxing. So the next day she goes to school, she does what mom tells her, she avoids the bully, but then she comes into contact with the bully who's actually trying to hurt a baby bird. Even this wording, like this is the bully. You know something? I'd much rather hurt you. And this bully comes charging at sister, and what does sister do? She defends herself, and the bully gets a bloody nose. Okay, now here's where things get a little more serious, and it was such a good lesson for my kids, but it ends up saying that this bully is crying because she's worried that when she gets home, her parents are going to beat her. And sister starts to realize like, oh my gosh, like maybe the reason why this person is bullying so much is because they have a rough home life. So it really opened up like good communication for me and my girls to talk about that. You can see here like, here's a cub who maybe gets hit a lot at home. Maybe that's why she likes to hit other cubs at school, right? And then it ends up ending just fine. You know, everybody's happy at the end. But I just thought like, wow, like today's children's books, I feel like they would never go that deep or that far as like, oh, how do we fix this problem? You're going to defend yourself and you're going to punch the bully back. Like, I just thought that was so wholesome. And of course, like, you know, mom did tell her just to avoid the bully at first. So it's giving different options to handle the situation. But when worse comes to worse, defend yourself.